Okay.
Okay, so with a client, no filming, Lord. Okay, with a client with orthopedic conditions, or a senior client who has multiple orthopedic conditions, talking about type of cardiovascular exercises you use with them. Really, you're really going to ask about where they're at in their current level of conditioning. So if they're a beginning client, they're going to start at that phase 1 training. It's going to be lower intensity, not such a high intensity workout. Most of them are going to be weight loss clients. In addition, with the orthopedic issues or with the osteoporosis or that type of condition, in general, it's going to be a low intensity. It's going to be more specifically the modality that we choose. One person in particular, bilateral hip replacement, is really unable to do or use anything other than a recumbent incline. And based on, she was a person who was 400 pounds at one time. I just asked her to keep with the, we'll use the Borg scale, and they'll just kind of rate their perceived exertion, because normally in a lot of cases they're going to be on a lot of medications. It's going to affect heart rate. So I'm asking them just to keep it at low intensity, and they might go keeping it below a rate of perceived exertion between 6 and 20, which is our Borg scale, below a 13, which would be like a subjective way to have them tell you that they are at their anaerobic threshold. And that's the point where they stop burning fat as a fuel source. So, but in general, just going to have them be able to talk or carry on a conversation, or and that will kind of tell me that they're below that threshold.
How many times per week you?
I'll train this particular person. I just meet once a week, and she's very, very compliant on doing her own workout outside of the time that we meet, and she's become pretty comfortable on that. Now, she walked with a cane when she came in. She was also receiving dialysis treatment for blood, so it was a lot of issues. But now she's very comfortable, and she's very confident, and she comes in, I believe, 6 times per week.
Wow.
It works out, so she's very committed to this. So,
Okay.
we covered off on kind of the type of cardiovascular. The intensity is going to be a low to moderate intensity. Type of resistance training is primarily, we did a lot of stability-based training for her, because she had issues with just about everything, the shoulders and the neck.
How old is she?
So she is 57 or 58.
Okay.
So a relatively young person, but just a lot of health issues. Diabetes, probably the biggest one, and receiving dialysis 3 times a week. So. And she would have issues with veins being punctured, and she would develop hematomas, and it was just just using just good common sense and being very careful and applying phase 1 stability phase, from a seated position, and then maybe we'd go from a seated to a standing position, and she's done quite well. I mean, with her endurance and her balance training was complicated. So. So type of resistance, basically phase 1, and really not able to do much in the way of a superset, because she can't really get into a prone position. Can't really get her down on the floor on her hands and knees. We're doing a little bit of hypertrophy, a little bit of strength to help with glucose balance. Specific things you look for in training types of clients, just being careful and asking for feedback. Does this bother you? Are you having any pain? Are looking to them? Do they look like they're overworked? Do they sweating profusely and out of breath? And do you need to sit down and just get feedback from them?
Okay.
Tips and tricks you found useful when working with them. Just asking for feedback. I mean, there's using this corrective exercise strategy for just about everybody, it works out just fine. But also asking, how does this feel?
Right.
How do you feel when we do this?
How you determine the stage where a client is perhaps like for her it's very difficult to pursue what she's doing. Do you ask questions or do you observe her, how she's doing? How you manipulate those situations? Like when you're feeling like she's doing good or she's behind or how she's doing. Do you...
Oh, give her feedback, encouragement,
Yeah.
you mean? Oh, constantly. Yeah, constantly. Because this person in particular was over 400 pounds at one time, so she's very depressed. She cried almost every workout for, I'll say, maybe about 6 months, and then she became more confident and kind of happy, and so a depressed person. So lots of positive talk about, because she was having issues with dialysis where they were blowing veins and getting constant setbacks, and she's on the transplant list. So it's just, you know, it's very, very difficult for her. So I'm constantly saying, look where you are now. Look at where you came from when I met you, which is, we're going on about a year now. She came up the stairs in the elevator into wheelchair. She started to use a walker. Then she went and was using a cane, and she said, I want to try using the cane, try not using the cane. And so I said, well, how far can you walk without a cane? She said, I don't know, I've tried. So now she's walking without a cane. Intermittently, she needs to use it because she still has a problem with balance. This is you know, this is a lifetime of disability.
Right.
So now she's able to intermittently, for the most part, walk without assistance or a cane. She's been leaning on that cane for 30 years. How do you think that affects your body mechanics? If you lean on something and rely on that, and you're 400 pounds, how would that affect your body mechanics?
I mean,
Everything.
100%.
So can I figure it out? Yeah, I'll do the best I can and apply the principles of NASM, and she's done great. You know, there's things you're not going to be able to correct,
Right.
like being 400 pounds for 30 years,
Right.
right? You're not going to reverse that. So you're going to, you know, make them as comfortable as possible and improve their range of motion, because it's everything. It's not just one thing. It's the whole body, right?
Okay.
And that's the unique experience that I have there. So that should give you enough
So
information.
We did the last one?
Mhm.
Could you
Yep.
describe a unique experience? Yeah, you did.
That was it.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Okay, good.